Well, you mentioned the Lost songs earlier. They feature very prominently on the record, especially the first half. Where did it originate?
Danny, the long version of this, or the short version, short version is, it was a happy accident. All three songs came out of trying to remember a lost song.
Okay.
That's the short version.
Okay, and then so it was. When was this Lost song written?
It was probably about 2008, 2009, something like that. And I think Danny did it at home, although he did ask us to scour our archives, all the recordings that we've done since then, and we couldn't find it anywhere. So I don't know, maybe it's just fallen through the cracks on one of his own home recording devices. And
so in a similar vein, had you not been there when he sang Ariel, that could have been one of those Lost songs.
Yeah, it could have been, but you know, that was a very strong one. I like to believe that the cream will always rise to the top. You know, you'll always remember the good stuff. Might not be true, I don't know. But I haven't heard this Lost idea of Danny's. I don't know what it was. Nobody has. Only Danny. He was racking his brains trying to remember it. And in the end, all we really had was the time signature. So I suggested a beat, Cardoso played it, and then Danny put his fingers on the piano, and it was there. This new song that came out of that. So
what was the mentality afterwards? Because obviously there had to be a Lost song part 1 first, and then.
Well, it all happened in the course of just after we had that beat. So Cardoso was playing this beat, and Danny was like, "Oh, that's good," and he played the piano to match the beat, and the riff came out of that. And the energy was flowing by then, and we were still recording. So by the time Cardoso had stopped, Danny just moved naturally into the second movement, right. Like it was already written. You know, it's just there. There it is. Yeah. It was like it was already done. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I was going to say this might be a stretch, but so it was all one big happy
It just happened right there and then. So it was as natural as it can be. It's just a good job we would press record, you know.
Okay. Yeah. And then afterwards the lyrics are added.
Oh yeah, they were in the studio last minute as usual. Yeah.
And then also with the title, when in the process was
again that was Distant Satellites. John had come up with that after he'd written the lyrics, and they were again about 2 weeks before the end of the studio, so quite late on.
Okay.
And as soon as he suggested the title for the song, we were already looking for the title of the album, and that was perfect for it, you know. So John's had a major contribution on this.
Okay.
He also was the first person to spot the artwork as well.
Well, I was going to ask which one came first, because
the artwork.
Yeah.
The title came first, and then the artwork came second. But it was John's idea for both of them.
Okay. And then how did he? Do you know how he arrived at the artwork?
Yeah, he found the guy. He just found the internet site where this guy had done an exhibition in New York, and just said, "Guys, what do you think of this? Because I think this is perfect." Which was easy for me because it meant I didn't have to work on it, because, you know, I didn't have time for the start and I didn't really want to. So having John say, "Okay, no, this is okay. It's done. Don't worry about it. It's going to be this." Well, so I had to back off at that point. I was like, "Okay, you guys do it then. You know, fine."
Because I recall from the previous interview we did that you had gotten into art again. And
I was kind of directing a lot of the artwork in the past, so. Whoever actually, I did produce bits and bobs, but I did spend a lot of time putting the covers together, which was a drag really, especially after you've been in the studio for a long time. I didn't really want to do it. It's just that we didn't have enough in the budget we'd spent so much on the music in the past that we didn't have enough in the budget to pay an artist to sort it out, you know what I mean? And on this one we did, and like I said, it was just a lot easier when we needed it, because it was quite late in the game. We didn't have anything, and John found the guy, found the art, and he suggested it, and I said, "Okay, hands off, you do it."
Okay.
So that was good for me.
And
it's perfect.
And finally, I might be off again, but when I listened to the album, I felt thematically it was a lot of introspection about, not, well, you said Danny wrote most of it, but about finding a place in the world or in life. Is that fair to say?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
But are you very self-reflective people, or
yeah, we are, yeah, but it's not for me to say what our music's about. You know, you've got to extrapolate whatever you want from it. You know, this is one of the things about our music, especially because it is deep and personal and honest to us. You know, we'd rather not talk about that side of it because, for one, it's personal, and number two, we'd rather let you have your own stories with this music. You know, people have told me stories in the past of what our songs mean to them, and I would much prefer to hear that. I would much prefer not to limit people by telling them, giving the game away of telling them what it's about.
And then, in that sense, is it weird to confess your feelings in that sense to people you don't know?
Not if you don't overdo it. I don't think so. No, you know, if you talk about it in every interview, then that's weird. That's narcissistic. But I'm not really much of a narcissistic person. I don't really want to talk about the lyrics. I do feel the need to express them properly when I'm actually singing them. So I don't listen to our music much, you know. I play it and I sing it. And that's where I go through it, and that's where I can try and be honest with it and just give it some integrity, if I can. But as far as what other people make of it, that's up to them.
What is one of the best reactions you had?
I'm not sure I want to talk about it, but because I mean,
because obviously it must do something to the band.
It's really, really painful stuff, you know. Like, if I were to bring it up, and this person sees that, it might remind them of what they've been through, and I don't really want to do that, you know. But it's really because it's. Somebody once said, okay.
Well, you don't have to.
No, but somebody once said when somebody had been seriously injured, and they didn't know if they were going to make it, and their friend was trying to comfort them until the ambulance arrived, and he just said, "Can you play me one last goodbye?" So he gave him his headphones and he put on. Ambulance came off, and he took him away. He never saw him again. What am I supposed to say to that? Do you know what I mean? I have no words for that. I have no words for that at all. But I know what One Last Goodbye is about, and Inner Silence and Crestfallen and Dreaming Light and Ariel and Distant Satellites and all of these songs, and they're all very, very personal to us, like, you know.
But that connection that people can make, I assume, is
I've
very
got
important.
that with music, you know.
Of course,
You've got that. I mean,
sure.
I've got loads of songs that I appropriate the people in my life too, you know.
Right.
Especially like the stuff I grew up with, you know, the stuff that stays with you all your life. Those songs, the timeless songs that you'll always go back to. And sometimes you'll hear a lyric someone's written, you go, I could have written that myself, and I've got loads of those. I'm not different, you know. Danny's not different. We've all got those moments in music, and we're another one of those bands that does that kind of thing. And we're not trying to be pretentious about it. It just happens like that, you know. Just what we do, you know. Can't help it, really. It just happens.
Right. Well, finally, because I also read somewhere that you're quite open-minded and positive people. Is it then, because the subject matter can be quite dark, as you just mentioned, at times, so is there a discrepancy, or is it a way of dealing with it and then...
Yeah, I guess it is in a way, really. To quote John, he said, it's a way of dealing with his doolally brain. Which is both sides. It's funny and tragic at the same time, but it's like, you know...
it's kind of what life is, really.
Yeah. You know, you can't take yourself too seriously at the end of the day, can you? You know, especially not doing this, you know.
Fair enough. All right, I think I'm out of time, so thank you very much.
All right, mate. Thanks a lot.